Okay, in the last video, I shared my business idea with friends and family, got a bunch of support, but then in the last week or so, we had to move from the people who know you to the people who don't know you, right? My name's Mick. I'm creating a company called Mick's Got No Nuts, 100% nut-free protein bar made in a dedicated nut-free facility made for those with peanut and tree nut allergies. And like I said, last post, I talked about my process on Instagram and Facebook, announcing to the world my idea for my company, and I got a lot of support, like I said. But then now, how do I get more people who are maybe more interested in the idea rather than just interested in me personally? And here's what I did. Also, I decided and buy myself a custom shirt, nice, dedicated nut-free protein bars, and Mix Got No Nuts hat. So I'm essentially my own walking billboard around the store, around any public area. Might look silly, but I love doing it. It's fun. Okay, so this is my business Facebook profile page, Mix Got No Nuts, and I created this a few weeks ago and had got like 6 to 8 followers, just parents, family. But here's what I did. So I knew that my avatar is going to be people with nut allergies, and subsequently people who may be around those with nut allergies. And who is that typically catered towards? Kind of parents, right? Especially moms. And so over the last week, I've been working to find those types of people who would share a similar pain. And my idea was not necessarily to sell them on anything, right? It was just kind of to present the idea and see if anyone resonated with it. I know that I know it worked because I did it over the last couple of days. But I was thinking about other sorts of businesses who may have a grandiose idea, but I wouldn't know exactly where to promote it, because if I didn't know exactly who I was targeting, then I would have a tough time promoting it. And yeah, you could run ads and whatnot, but I felt like, and I was correct, that if I found the right group of people with a similar pain and problem, having nut allergies and not finding a good protein bar, then I can make some serious damage. And so here's what I did. I actually went and found on Facebook, I found nut allergy support groups. This might sound silly, but it's exactly what worked. I found about 8 initially. Some are definitely more active than the others. There's, I think 3 where I got most of my engagement. But let me show you what I posted initially. Remember, I'm coming into these groups cold. No one knows me. I have a company logo, right? So I have to be very delicate. I don't want to be salesy, but I want people to engage. And so let me show you what I posted. Okay, so I essentially copied and pasted the same message across all the groups, and I would say 2 or 3 of them really, really got good attention. The other ones maybe just not an active group or whatever it is. But so here's what I posted. Hi everyone, I'm Mick. I'm 24 years old, and I've been living with a peanut and tree nut allergy for my entire life. I wanted to ensure that people knew that I was like them, right? I don't want to just come in like a salesman, an entrepreneur, just like, hey, you guys are what I want, who I'm targeting. But like, no, I am sharing in this pain as well. And like all of you, I know how tough it can be to find snacks that are 100% nut free, high protein, made in a dedicated nut free facility. These are the pains. Then I pitched the idea, not a business, just the idea. I have an idea of creating a nut free protein bar. Oh, see, I just got a comment on one of my posts. That is made in a dedicated nut free facility. I'm calling it Mix Got No Nuts. I don't have anything to sell yet. I felt like that was important to say, just so that people can feel open and supportive and give their input into the idea. So I have nothing to sell yet, but I'd love any support as I start the journey to provide people with peanut and tree nut allergies like us. Gotta show some relatability. A protein bar that they can feel truly safe to eat. I'm still in the very early stages, but I made a website, mixcutdonuts.com. So if this problem resonates with you at all, you can sign up for my email list to get frequent updates on my progress. Thank you for letting me be part of this community. I'm excited to be here and connect with people, with folks who truly get it. I'm trying to frame them, right? They're the people who understand the problem. Even if they didn't, I assume that they do. And I got a lot of interest. Obviously, 74 people liked. This was a couple days ago, April 14th. And the comments were just amazing. I mean, so many supportive comments. Let me see if I can get to the comments here. Here we go. I got a lot of just good luck, wonderfuls, couple suggestions, and I'll show you what I did after this. I made sure to reply or at least engage with each one to know that, I'm a real person and do really care. So if someone just said, "Hey, good luck," I just said, "Hey, thank you, Nicole. That's awesome. Thank you so much." Um, so many really wonderful, wonderful comments. And from this, my loose call to action, right? It wasn't super strong intentionally, right? I don't want to make it seem like I'm selling anything, just presenting the idea to a problem that I'm sure many of these people have. Um, Go to my website and sign up for my email list. From these posts I made on April 11th, I probably got about 40 to 50 signups. It was super fun. The next day, I made a follow-up post to all the groups that were engaged. Some, again, were not, but this one was. Here's a follow-up to say, hey, thank you so much for your support. If you didn't see, here's what I talked about, just kind of re-emphasizing, because not everyone's going to see every post, right? So just want to make sure everyone can see it. And then a loose call to action again, sign up for my email list. More comments, more support. Deirdre didn't want mushrooms. I promised Deirdre there's going to be no mushrooms in the bar. And then I had made a third post, I think yesterday. Okay, so here it is. So I made my 2 intro posts, and it's possible not everyone saw it, but I got good enough attention where I felt confident to then ask for input. And so I essentially reframed or restated the idea, working on a final recipe, but I wanted to engage people and see if anyone would comment. What would you like to see in the protein bar? What would you not like to see? Any input's welcome, and trying to make the best Nut-Free protein bar as possible for everyone. Again, go to my website, sign up for my email list. That's got a couple, 3 or 4 signups. I always conclude it with Mick, Mick's Got No Nuts. The tagline, made for those with nut allergies, right? I would like Mick's to be a nut-free brand sometime in the future. I always like to include some sort of fun PS, something funny. I think the last one was like, we're making nut allergies cool again, something like that, just to be funny. Try to make the picture, I need your input, as clear as possible. And then I got a lot of nice comments and a lot of good input. Now I will say there are some people who commented one thing, and then some people commented the exact opposite thing. And like, for example, someone says no dairy, and another person's like, I really want chocolate flavor. Like, you can't really have both. I was surprised. I learned a few things too. And this is awesome because, if I just put my head in the kitchen and didn't talk to anyone and then came out with a product that, no one really knew about or really wanted, that would obviously be bad. But now that I have people, A, aware of it, and B, now providing input, they're more invested. And then now they're giving me recommendations of what they would like to see. And one thing I would not have known, now I wasn't planning to do it. It was an idea way back when to include it, but it was quickly nixed. But one thing I didn't realize was that a lot of people who have nut allergies also have some sort of pea allergy. And so I got half of the suggestions were no pea protein, which was super interesting. I never pea protein, pea protein, pea protein, pea protein, pea protein. I'm not. We'll see about the latex, Melanie. That was the most common suggestion. I had other groups commenting as well. That was really interesting feedback that I never would have known, because a lot of people who did comment pea protein, maybe in a different group, because this is what I'm thinking of, they would say that all these, allergy friendly bars or snacks would sneak pea protein in because they think that's a relatively safe option. But what I'm learning is that no, that's actually quite the deterrent, because a lot of people, especially young kids who are allergic to nuts, somehow are also allergic to peas. I got a lot of other suggestions too. Please no soy. Please, a lot of like, no, please don't include this. Not a lot of like, hey, this is what I like to see. I had some good suggestions, like make sure that it is high in protein, a 10 calorie to 1 gram protein ratio, which was kind of what I was aiming for anyway. A couple people said, hey, you should just be totally allergy free, which is, I don't think, a good idea, because it is very limiting in your target avatar. As soon as you try to cater to everyone, you kind of cater to no one. And so this person here, Nicole, said you should reach out to all top 9 allergies, which are, here we go, tree nuts, peanuts, shellfish, wheat, milk, egg, soy. Okay, well, there are three more in there that I can't think of. Um, but either way, and some people would talk to each other in the comments, which was really interesting. Elias just said I kind of disagree with this, but that more for the reason of looks like it would just kind of change the taste and texture. Personally, if I saw a snack that was free of top 9 allergies, it's probably gonna taste like dirt. So unless this Nicole would like a blade of grass as a snack, it's not what I'm aiming for. And I tried to be very very respectful of these types of comments where they would suggest something that I don't think is possible. Um, like I said, I'll try to accommodate as many people as possible, but like I am focusing on nut free first. It is mixed, got no nuts, not mixed, got no nuts, soy, wheat, milk, egg, all that stuff. And like it's gonna be tough to cater to everyone, obviously, but there are enough people and enough validation where okay, if I make it nut free, people will be happy as long as there's no pea protein. That's what I've learned. So from posting these 3 times in these groups, and I'm going to be posting more. I also want to do cold outreach to these people in these groups. I even have a buddy from high school who's going to help me out. I'll pay him a little bit of money. He deserves it. But I went from like 8 followers to 55 followers. I mean, really doing nothing on the page, just posting in these groups. I quintupled my follower count. 55 is not going to change the world, obviously, but it's enough to make people aware, and that's what I'm happy about. And people even went over to my Instagram and followed my Instagram account. I got about 10 followers just from that cross-platform recognition. Okay, so I'm on Wix now. I can see exactly the number of people who are on my email list, and I started, say, a few days ago when I was talking in the last video, probably like 50 to 60 email subscribers. Then I posted on Facebook, cold, practically doubled my account to 116. Now, if you follow Ryan Daniel Moran, he says get 100 people on the email list. And, I thought that was going to take a few months, maybe like 2 months. It went pretty fast. There were a lot of people who resonated with this pain. I got a lot of nice messages, even to me personally. People would go to my website and in the contact us form, they would type a nice note. And I've gotten very, very little negative feedback. It's all been positive, which I think is good, right? It's been practically A+ reception from the audience I'm trying to target. If people want soy-free, dairy-free, nut-free, they might not be my target avatar. It's just the nut-free category I'm going for. And with this email list, I'm sending one email per week. I did it. I did my email last week. Excuse me. I did my email yesterday. I sent all my email subscribers an email, and I just typed it out. Like nothing fancy. Doesn't need to be super high, you know highly designed. It's just me writing notes. I can show you what I wrote actually if you're curious because I'm sure you're asking. Okay, so this is literally the email that I sent. I just said weekly update, the date, and happy Monday, fellow nut-free enthusiasts. A lot of new people this week. Welcome reaching out on Facebook to groups that support others with peanut and tree nut allergies. I've only made a few posts so far, but many are resonating with the pain and annoyance of not having a 100% nut-free protein bar available. We're going to change that together. Reached over 100 people on the email list. Been working hard in the kitchen. But like very, very loose, I would love your input though. Is there any particular you like to see in the bar? It's similar to what I did on Facebook. Telling people launch is scheduled for 2025. And I did say that pre-orders and donations are now live on my website. I'll talk about that in the next video. We got a little bit of traction actually in the last couple of days. But just everyone says just everyone who I am learning from, just at least email people once a week to know that you're making progress. And here's a picture of me. This is actually like 2 months ago, making bars, but I framed it as if it was a couple days ago. I lost a little bit of weight since then, and cut my hair. Anyway, that's about all I wanted to talk about today. Was going from your warm audience, right? Your friends and your family, people who follow you on Instagram and Facebook, and then getting a handful of email subscribers, just people who maybe not be interested in your product but just interested in you and wanted to help you out. To okay, then let's move from warm to cold outreach, people who you don't know and don't know you, but are willing to resonate with the pain that you're presenting, as long as they're not feeling like they're being sold to. They're just they want to be involved in the process, right? The amount of people who gave input, they wouldn't give input if they felt like they were being sold to. So it was very important to me to act like one of them, just presenting an idea that I think we can all agree that is a problem. So from going from zero to warm outreach via my personals, I got to about 50 email subscribers. And then with the 4 days of cold outreach, posting in a group, I got to 116. And then I would say over the next week, probably between now and the next video, I will be personally cold DMing the people in the group to incentivize them to sign up for my email list, right? I believe people will be more in tune to engage with my content, i.e., sign up for my email list, if they are reached out to personally. So that is what I'm going to do next. I'm trying to build awareness. I also need to finish the recipe of the bar. That's what I've been working on as well. I got something in the kitchen right now. It's not dairy free. Whoever commented that earlier. But we're getting close to a recipe. I'm pretty happy with it. And so, yeah, that's about all the progress I've made this week. And hopefully someone got some value out of this. But I suppose this will be hopefully a nice video to look at and think, wow, Mick really started off with nothing and got to something in like a year or two. So anyway, all right, Elle,